RSL get 3 out of 9 points. Some news around the club. We'll announce our giveaway winner. Royal Roundtable is back. And 3 crowns. All that and more coming up on Boot Room 801. Welcome back to the Boot Room, everyone. My name is Giles, and I'm joined as always by my co-host and wife, Kayla.
Hello.
We've got a packed episode tonight, and so we'll go ahead and jump into it with some updates from the club. Number 1, RSL matches will be re-airing locally on KMYU, so keep your eyes peeled for when those will be airing. But they will usually be within a couple days after the actual match. They'll be rebroadcast on KMYU. So
we have a list of it on our Instagram, so we can absolutely reshare that.
Yeah, so we'll get that up on our socials so you can see that and make sure that you catch any matches for anyone who doesn't have Apple TV. So if you have Apple TV, you can watch them at any time. You can watch all matches there for all MLS, not just RSL. But now for those who don't have Apple TV, you can watch the matches rebroadcast later. So that's a huge update for access.
Yeah.
And then our second update is a little bittersweet of an update. Tyler Wolff has been loaned to Sacramento Republic FC. So RSL have loaned him to the USL Championship side for the remainder of the 2026 season. Wolff hasn't appeared for RSL so far this season. I believe he may have been on the bench for a match or two, but he hasn't seen any minutes so far.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, he's been on the bench just a couple times, but he was injured in preseason.
Yeah, so good luck to Tyler at Sacramento, and if he stays there, good luck to him. But if he comes back, hopefully he develops the way he wants to there, and he can break back into the lineup for RSL.
Yeah.
Should he not be acquired at the end of the loan. I'm not sure the details of all the different clauses there.
Yeah,
but,
I think it'll be good.
Yeah, but those are our 2 big news things. But we have 3 matches to go over.
3 for RSL and 1 for Royal, so 4 matches.
Yeah, we have 4 total matches to go over, a giveaway to get to, and some crowns to hand out. So Kayla, why don't you start us off with the recaps?
Yeah, let's start with the happy one. San Diego on last Saturday, hosted San Diego FC in a really good match. Diego Luna just decides to come out flying again and gets a goal within the 5th minute. And literally 90 seconds later, Luna served Solans his header to make it 2-0.
Can we talk about Luna's goal real quick?
Mm-hmm. The accidental pass steal?
Yeah, we mentioned it in the last episode, but I want to go over it a little bit more here. How good was that interception?
Oh, he read the goalie like a freaking book. It was beautiful.
Awesome. I loved that so much. And again, we talked about it last time, but seeing it literally the next day happen in the Premier League too. Just love seeing those kind of goals. I love seeing a goalkeeper get flustered, but I mean, 5th minute, if you're already flustered, that is a bad sign. Anyway.
Does that mean that Ferry gets the assist on that goal?
I mean, he should.
Yeah, so really early on, we have that 2-0 lead. San Diego does answer in the 14th minute with Ingwertsen cutting the lead to 2-1. And then RSL kept pushing, and Guilavogui finally gets his first goal.
I'm so happy. I called it. I called it many times, but I was finally right.
Yeah. It was a beautiful goal as well. And Sergi Solans later talked about that he could have gotten the goal and gotten a hat trick, but he realized how much more it would mean for Guilavogui to get his first goal. And so he was able to pass it over to Guilavogui and get that perfect goal.
Yeah, it was just awesome. I love that level of team play. Sometimes you want to push for more selfishness, which we'll get into the points of that later. But this was an instance where making the pass was unquestionably the right call.
Yeah. Oh, I misspoke. That was during the stoppage time.
First half.
Before that, Gozo got the ball to Solans, and Solans got his second goal of the match. That's where it came in. Sorry, that was my fault.
There's a lot of matches, a lot of goals that were scored, but unfortunately not a lot for RSL.
Yeah.
But for Solans to get his second goal of the game with 2 headers in a row, just a forehead blessed by God, just awesome.
And Pablo said that first 45 minutes was the best 45 minutes he's seen this team play.
And, he's not wrong. It was an awesome demonstration.
It looked like a symphony.
It was just an absolute clinic.
Yeah.
Second half, not so much.
Yeah. Anders Dreyer was able to get another goal from the penalty shot, or from a penalty kick. Super disappointing. It's hard to stop those.
Yeah.
It was kind of a questionable call, if I remember.
That is going to be a common theme tonight.
Yeah.
Questionable calls.
Yeah.
But we'll let this one go.
Yeah. So
it's the least egregious of them. But
so once again, they cut that lead in half, so it was 4-2. Cabral had some amazing saves. Granted, some of them were kind of should not have been all the way back to Cabral, because we started to really flounder and we started to really react instead of being proactive. Definitely could have been higher, and we could have had a lower score sheet, but we did have a great...
we got the win. We closed it out 4-2. Good win.
Great win against San Diego. Miraculously, San Diego didn't have a red card in that game.
Yeah, that's what was that? Their first time in 4 matches without a red card.
Yeah.
So.
And then we get into the biggest game of the week and the most frustrating game. Well, one of the most frustrating games. Both of them are frustrating.
Miami.
Yeah. So RSL hosts Messi and the gang. That's basically what they are. It's not Inter Miami. It's Messi and the boys.
It's Inter Messi.
Yeah. It was weird seeing... it was the 4th largest crowd the RSL has had at home, with 21,512. And it was really frustrating to see how many people that we know were in Miami kits and not in RSL kits.
It was frustrating to watch people buy Miami kits and Argentina kits in line to get into the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was...
Well, and then Fanatics was selling them in the team store.
Yeah, it was just frustrating to have a visitor's kit being sold in the lines and in our store inside of our stadium.
Yeah.
That felt like a weird line to cross. I did not like that.
Yeah.
But it was a crazy crowd for how many people were in the stadium. There were even more outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was frustrating. We got a chance to talk to a lot of really great fans, and we'll have those videos posted later. But it was a little weird. I was very happy with how much red I was seeing out in the stands, but I've got less proud.
Yeah.
After Messi went up for a free kick and the whole stadium started chanting Messi like he was home.
Yeah.
Like that was frustrating to me.
So remember that when you're at RSL, you should be cheering for RSL.
Yeah. It doesn't matter who's coming to visit. You can appreciate them as a visitor, but they're a visitor. Cheer the home team.
Yeah.
Like, don't be the bandwagon Utah Lakers fan. It frustrates the daylights out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was frustrating to see. I watched somebody sell their ticket in line. They were in full RSL regalia, sold their ticket, and I can't blame them for how much they sold it. I watched them sell one ticket for $1,300 to somebody fully kitted out in Messi gear.
Mm-hmm.
I can't blame them. Like, get your money. Like, that's a lot. That would pay for quite a few more tickets throughout the year. I mean, that's a whole season for multiple people paid for right there. But I mean, it was just I can't keep talking about it, or I'll just get more and more mad.
My one little complaint is, while the temporary seats were a good idea, behind them and trying to move through that crowd was terrifying.
Yeah, that
definitely needs to be looked at. I know that The Miller Group wants to try and get more seats in. I don't know that that's the right option at this time.
I would love to see them build something up on top of the concessions instead of in front of the concessions.
Yes.
I don't know how viable that is, like structurally. I am not an architect. I am not an engineer. But I would love to see that so that we can keep that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see the concourse kept clear.
Yeah.
Because it is frustrating. It's frustrating from the march perspective. Like we march in with the rest of the riot, and I have a 14-foot flagpole that I'm in there with, and it is not easy, and it was much more difficult for this match.
Mm-hmm. So that's my own little one little complaint. We were able to hold them off for most of the game. Now, it was really frustrating to watch. Our offense definitely seemed very flustered and very off. Turns out Diego Luna had food poisoning that day, and so he was fighting through food poisoning and still played 90 minutes.
He had to take an IV before game and at halftime.
Yeah.
Sanabria was also sick, I believe we were told.
Lucas Engel was going to start and then aggravated an old injury during warm-up, so Sam Junka hopped in.
We started, to be fair, we started hot. We had good energy at the beginning of the game up until one specific point.
The offside goal?
The goal that was called offside, which
it threw our momentum off.
I'm still not
Salty.
entirely convinced that it was offside, but it was called offside. We should have seen some sort of bounce back from that, but RSL never fully recovered from the offside call.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Cabral for stopping Messi from scoring multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty awesome to see. And they didn't score until the 82nd minute.
Yeah, so for 82 minutes, RSL held the defending champs, who were playing the best game I've seen them play in a while, especially their defense. Their defense had the best game that they'd had up to that point in the season. They were looking great. Got to give credit where it's due.
Yeah.
And then when Suarez came on, it completely changed the
dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But props to Justin Glad for stopping Leo Messi many times. And
Caliscan too.
Yeah. I think people expected RSL to be starstruck in this game, and I don't really think I saw RSL being starstruck. We saw RSL being frustrated, and we saw a ref being starstruck.
Yes.
Which is stupid because he's reffed many of their games before.
And getting in the way twice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that were crazy about that game.
Oh, and then, what's his name? I forget his name now. One of the Miami players getting fined after the fact for simulation when he gets in front of Catranas and Catranas has the ball and the guy just falls down and they called a foul on Catranas and ruined a transition piece that could have resulted in a very good opportunity on goal.
Yeah, there were a lot of frustrating moments for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So 82nd minute, Rodrigo de Paul was able to curl a shot from a free kick, making it 1-0. And then he was able to connect with Luis Suarez and scored a first-time volley to make it 2-0. And unfortunately, they were beautiful goals to watch.
They were world-class. I hate admitting it, but I mean, Cabral did everything right. He did everything right on both goals.
He possibly could. The defense did okay too. They were just outrun.
It was a frustrating moment to see those goals go in. And it was a confusing moment because it's like, wow, we just saw these incredible world-class players score in front of us.
Dang it, they scored against us.
Yeah. But again, my biggest complaint about this game, the stadium erupted like RSL had scored. Mm-hmm. And it's not okay.
Yeah. It's one thing when it's like Leagues Cup, where we're playing against Club America and
there's a lot of traveling fans.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people that traveled from Miami for this game. It was just a lot of people who live here, who wanted to see Messi. But when players other than Messi score, they cheer like it's the home club, and that pissed me off.
It was
that put
weird.
me in a real bad mood.
Anyways, so coming off of that disappointing result, we did go to LA.
One
That was
thing,
also our first loss at home of the season.
One thing I will say, their interim coach, he was very nice. There was a point where they had the Inter Miami post-match press conference in our conference room. And so we got to sit in on that one while we were waiting for Pablo to address us. And he was a genuinely nice person. And if that's the coach you're losing to, then, it takes the sting out of it a little bit because he was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, he also only spoke Spanish and neither one of us speaks Spanish. So we're going off of the
gestures
and the translations from other people that were in the room that do speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
But he did, at the end of his remarks, he made sure to tell us that we have a beautiful city and something to the effect of God bless you. Just really good dude. We'll end that on a positive note before we go into LA and fall off another cliff of negativity.
Yeah, so we did go to LA Galaxy. And
I hate them.
We did see quite a big change in the starting 11. So from Saturday to Wednesday, it was almost exactly the same with the addition of Sam Junca because
of injury.
Of injury with Lucas Engel. San Diego, we did see Yedlin start for the first time, so that was nice to see.
Because of a last-minute interview from PQ.
Yeah. So there was quite a big change in LA Galaxy. We did have Victor Olachinji starting, Aiden Hezerkani starting, Juanma Sanabria starting, and Philip Quinton starting, and Yedlin coming on later.
Mm-hmm.
So quite a big change. One thing of note that's kind of cool, Diego Luna did make his 100th MLS appearance. So congrats, Luna, on 100.
Congrats.
We sure
He's
love
a
him.
Centurion now.
Olachinji made his first start of the season.
Finally.
It was good to see him, and he definitely brought a lot of energy and a lot of class to the pitch. You could tell that he was a little rusty. He had some really good moments. He had some really frustrating moments.
The last two matches have been frustrating, with LA and with Miami. We saw players who normally infuse a lot of energy not bring the energy. And in the Miami game, there were a lot of substitutions that were made that were supposed to bring energy that just didn't for some reason. And
kind of the same with the Galaxy.
Yeah, there was just a lack of energy. And, it could be the fact that they had such a long break between matches. That's just...
Pablo talked about that it's hard to get that momentum, to get that energy up when you've been gone for 2 full weeks.
Yeah, it's just hard to get it back and get it going.
In the 9th minute, Marco Royce does score from a free kick to give a 1-0 lead, but RSL did keep pushing for an equalizer. And late in first half stoppage time, literally almost before he blows the whistle, Aiden Hezerkani is able to connect with Gozo. Gozo hits the post and it hits the back of the goalie and makes it into the goal. So technically it is a goalie own goal, but we're going to give it to Gozo.
It's a Gozo lasso.
Yeah. It was really, really well done.
Props to Aiden for, he's getting tugged down
as he's passing it on.
Just absolutely getting just manhandled. And he shakes it off and outplays a fantastic defender. As much as I don't like the Galaxy, they do have some good players. And
it was Glasness, wasn't it?
Yeah. So just hats off to Hezerkani. That was an incredible pass. It was an incredible demonstration of determination. And I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that was not the only time that someone had been pulled down throughout this game and was not called on.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about that.
Should have been a yellow card.
It should have.
For how much they were tugging on him.
100%.
For anyone out there who is saying, oh, they gave him advantage, so they didn't give him the yellow card. That's not how advantage works.
You should still get a yellow card.
Also, the ref did not signal for advantage.
Mm-mm.
So
He
that
just didn't
argument
call
is
it.
dead. It's
Yeah.
dead before it starts. It wasn't advantage. He got pulled down and massive tug on the jersey in the box.
Mm-hmm.
No call.
It's one thing where, and we're going to talk about this later in the second half, because it happened twice, one on either side.
And it was called on one side.
And it was called on one side. And I completely understand why it was called on RSL. Junko was 100% pulling on the guy's shirt. Should not have happened. But if you're going to call it on Sam Junka, you better be calling it on Garces.
Yeah, whatever his name is. There's a Garces and a Glassness, whichever one it was.
It was Garces. It was It was always Garces.
But the thing
he got away with a lot.
The thing that bugs me too, like if you're gonna call that, you're gonna have to call it on every single cross and corner in MLS.
Mm-hmm.
Like guys tug on jerseys. Happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're gonna call it, you're gonna have to call a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we see them not call it when the team that is a larger market team, it's not called when they're doing it. It's called when it's done against them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Speaking of, there was that big controversy when there was a dog show that should have been called as a dog show and given a red card and was not even fouled at all against Olatunji.
Yeah.
We could talk about that until the cows come home.
Yeah. Just brought
Watch
down.
the press conference and you'll see exactly how everyone felt about it. That's all I'm going to say.
A lot of fines coming out of that press conference.
Yeah.
But it was just ridiculous. It looked like something out of WWE, and then they don't call it. And then they review it, and they choose not to call it. Like,
and he didn't get to go to VAR.
Well,
he didn't go look at it.
He chose not to. He was advised to and chose not to. And
don't like that.
Justin Glad mentions it in the post-match presser. If you haven't seen it, it's on our YouTube, it's on our website, and it's on our Facebook and on our Twitter. You can go and watch it there. But Justin Glad was like spot on with it. He's like, "What's the point of VAR
if you're not going to use it?" Yeah.
I can't keep going on about it. I'm still
So
mad.
we were equalizing all the way until the 85th minute. It looks like we were going to end with a tie. Looks like it's going great. Sam Junka decides to pull on a jersey.
Ever so slightly.
It was pulling off pretty good.
Compared to what they were doing to Hezar Khani earlier, where they're like visibly stretching the jersey off of his body.
Yeah.
A tiny little tug.
Okay, that's true.
Like,
anyways,
I'm so mad.
It gets called for a penalty. Marco Royce takes the penalty, and they get the score. So the ending score is 2-1.
It was a frustrating match, and a lot of the times here in the podcast, I have my fan hat on instead of my my journalist hat. Putting that fan hat on, oh my goodness, I was so mad. But props to the guys for how they responded afterwards. I mean, we see that RSL was frustrated by the no calls during the match. I mean, how could you not be? But they did keep fighting, and they did maintain their composure pretty well.
And we had quite a few shots that were pretty close. We did still look a little scrambly like we did in Inter Miami, and I think that we were just extra frustrated and trying to push off of that. So hopefully we can take that frustration and put it towards motivation coming against Portland.
Yeah, it was just a frustrating time, but teams bouncing back well. We were fortunate enough to get to talk to Pablo earlier today, and he had a lot of good takeaways from everything. So there is an air of hope around the club,
but also an edginess. I feel like.
Yeah, I think we're
ready to prove ourselves again.
Yeah, and everybody knows angry RSL is RSL that performs. Like this, if you're new to Utah sports, generally we're not treated very well. Just kind of a thing. We're a small market team, so we get kind of crapped on a lot. Regardless of the sport, we're always considered the, quote, small market team. I disagree with the name small market. Utah is extremely passionate. There's a lot of people here that watch these sports, and Utah deserves to be treated fairly. RSL deserves to be treated fairly by the officials, and we see 2 games back to back where MLS's darling clubs get extremely blatant preferential treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that happens. Yes, I'm mad about it, but RSL also needs to respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, at the end of the day, the onus is still on RSL to perform.
Yeah.
But it is much more difficult when you're playing 15 on 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
anyways, before we get into the full Three Crowns conversation and looking forward to the next game as well as talking about the Royals.
I can't wait to talk about the Royals. It's a much more positive conversation.
It's a very good conversation. Make sure that you're following Boot Room 801 across X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, as well as anywhere that you listen to your podcasts. We're posting match coverage, player availability, press conferences, episode clips, and independent RSL coverage all week long. So you can find everything at bootroom801.com. And speaking of social media, we were lucky enough to get an extra scarf of the RSL versus Inter Miami. So we did a scarf giveaway on our social media, and we have the winner.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who participated, by the way. That was really cool to see. So thank you truly from the bottom of our hearts, everybody who liked, commented, our new followers who found us through this giveaway. Thank you and welcome. It was humbling for us to see the response. So thank you all very much. But without further ado, we have our winner. We're spinning the wheel right now, and we have our winner. And we'll post the video of the wheel spin and everything too. Our winner is Allie Marie Sutterfield.
Yay!
From Facebook. So we'll send you a DM letting you know that you've won, apart from hearing it here. But thank you for participating, and we'll work that out with you and your DMs on how to get that scarf to you.
Congratulations! So, getting into happy news, let's talk about the Royals.
Yes, please.
Because the Royals had a killer game. And for those of you who have any questions on where to watch it, good luck. Just kidding. We will work really hard to put where to watch the games on our social media from now on. Most of the time it's either going to be Prime, NWSL Plus, Ion, or Victory Plus.
Kayla is currently working on her degree to understand the distribution of NWSL matches.
Yeah, that's going to take me years. Anyways.
It's like learning MLS roster rules.
Yeah, seriously. It was a beautiful game to watch. It was interesting because it was happening at the same time as the LA Galaxy game, and Giles is getting more and more mad, and I'm getting more and more excited. And so
a lot of conflicting emotions.
So it was definitely interesting. There were quite a few firsts in this game. Paige Cronin, formerly Paige Monahan, she got married during off season. Congratulations. She came on for for her season debut from injury list.
And first time as a Cronin, right?
Yes. So first time in her Cronin era. Narumi Miura made her first start and club debut. She was one of our off-season signings. And
can I just say real quick, I am so happy to see so many Japanese players on our roster. I love the Japanese style of football. If you haven't watched Japanese football, it's fun. I love the way that they play.
It's very high-paced.
And both on the men's and the women's side, it's really fun to watch. And I know in at least for the men's side of Japanese soccer, it is available on YouTube for free, like full matches. Granted, they are in Japanese, so if you don't speak Japanese, you're not going to understand any of the commentary. But they are there for free. So, highly recommend you watch it.
Nurio Robino also made her first start of the season after returning from injury.
Congrats.
Paige also wore the captain's armband again. She is always our captain. She's our pink scrunchy queen. We love her.
It's just so nice to see her back.
Yeah. So they started the match and they're playing against Seattle Reign. And Seattle Reign was just 2 spots above us in the table. So a very close game and a big one at Seattle. Seattle is really hard to beat at home, and we haven't beaten them at home since 2019.
So just a
little bit important.
Yeah, just
a
big game.
51 seconds in, their goalie tries to pass it to. It was very similar to Diego Luna's goal. Their goalie tries to pass it to one of the players. They are able to get it to them, but they tried to pass it, and Mina Tanaka steals it immediately. It was awesome. And then immediately passes it over to Paige, passes it back to Paige, so it's still onside, and Paige is able to just bury it into the back of the net at 51 seconds. That is officially the fastest Utah Royals goal in Utah Royals history.
Beating the previous record held by Chloe Lacasse.
Of 3 minutes.
So, just a lightning
beautiful
fast goal.
Beautiful.
And 2 incredible Royals players involved on that. My personal favorite women's soccer player of all time, Mina Tanaka, and Paige Cronin, who is another one of the all-time favorites in this household.
Yeah. It was the fastest goal in club history and the 14th fastest goal in NWSL history.
We're going to have to look that up and see exactly how fast each one of those other goals was and watch those. Because that's insane to me for 51 seconds to be the 14th fastest goal. That's nuts.
Yeah. So 7 minutes in, Narumi Miura is able to get the ball.
It's a strike from outside the box.
Yeah. Narumi Miura was able to get the ball during a corner kick set piece. So it's out of the box about 24 yards out, and she just buries it. She's able to just get the most beautiful goal. So it's her first goal in club history and her first goal in her first start. So awesome goal. She was so excited about it. It was super cute.
A picture-perfect debut.
Yeah.
And then, quickest 2-goal lead in club history.
Mm-hmm. And then right in the first half stoppage time, Anna Tejada was able to find Chloe Lacasse, and Lacasse finished it, making it 3-0 at the half.
Tejada's so good. Lacasse is so good. I'm so glad that she's not injured this year.
Yeah.
Really, it is an exciting time to be watching the Royals.
This is their best start in the new era of the Utah Royals.
Mm-hmm.
It started with Amy Rodriguez, did not have a great start then. Then the next year when it was Jimmy's first start, we had 3 points over 7 games. In the next year, it was 4 points over 7 games. And this year, 10 points over 7 games.
That's just
so good.
day.
We didn't score again in the rest of the second half, but we were able to stop them from scoring. They had a couple spots where they were pretty close, and Mia Justice was able to just shut them down. So shout out to her, Kaylee Reel, and Kate Del Fava on the defense, because they were just phenomenal.
And they gave us something that Utah soccer fans have been wanting for so long and not seeing, a clean sheet.
Yes. It's the second clean sheet, actually, of the year.
But especially after the rough stretch from RSL, it was nice to see a clean sheet from a Utah team.
Yeah. It was beautiful.
It was very cathartic.
Yanni Thompson also gets a shout out for how well she played. Really, the whole women they clicked. The whole women. The whole team just clicked so well. They just seemed on fire.
Yeah.
And it was just really, really nice to see. A lot of the girls are coming back from injury, and so it was nice to see how well they were doing and how well they were recovering. Speaking of, Mia Justice did take a little bit of a tightness in her leg. I haven't seen an
update on
update on her, so hopefully she's doing okay. She was taken out towards the end of the game, and we did see the the season debut of Mandy McGlynn, which we love Mandy McGlynn in this house too. And she's coming back from an injury on her finger that she had in preseason U.S. national team play. So glad that she's doing well. Glad that she was able to kind of finish off and get that clean sheet as well.
After the the chaotic frustration that we had from the RSL LA match the same day. It was very cathartic
to be excited
and immediately go from being angry about a loss that really had so many points of frustration, anger, questionable calls, and then transition into just being straight excited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, this is also the first time ever that Seattle has lost by 3 points at home. And this is the first time ever that we have beat Seattle by 3 points, home or away.
Love to hear that.
And Seattle is one of the founding teams of the NWSL.
A little lore from the house. I don't like Seattle, period. And it's nothing against people who are from Seattle or who like Seattle. I don't like the Sounders. I don't like the Seahawks. I hate the Kraken. I don't like
the Mariners.
I don't like the Mariners. I don't like the Seattle Reign. I don't like Seattle. I don't like the sports teams. So any extra win over Seattle is just, it brings sunshine to my soul. And again, it's nothing against the city of Seattle and the people of Seattle. I just have personal beef with Seattle and the surrounding areas around Seattle. So it's just extra icing on the cake for me.
I also just realized that their name is a pun.
It's the Seattle Rain because it rains in Seattle. Mm-hmm. Yep. But, you know,
I was today years old.
I will say there are some fantastic people who come from Seattle and from that area. We have some staff with RSL who are from Seattle. They're great people. Yedlin is from Seattle, and I love him to death. He's one of my favorite people, just bar none. So, nothing against Seattle, but I hate your sports teams.
This is the best start that the Royals have had. And this was one of their best games. It was so much fun to watch. So, speaking of the Royals and RSL, now that we've gone through all of the matches, let's go through over our 3 crowns. And we've changed the way that we talk about 3 crowns now. As much as we would love to do 4 different 3 crowns.
Yeah. 6 crowns per match per team.
It makes more sense for Giles and I to come together on 3 crowns for RSL and 3 crowns for the Royals. And since it was such a busy week, we've decided that we're going to do an overall 3 crowns for the RSL and then for all of the games.
Yeah. We're going to do 3 crowns for 3 matches combined.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 crowns for the Royals. So we're going to separate that out. RSL, Royals, 3 crowns total. It's no longer going to be 6 crowns. Moving into a positive note, because there
were some positives still. There were still some good things that happened. And there were some good performances, even though it was frustrating.
Yeah. So, Kayla, do you want to go over the 3 crowns from the Royals first?
Sure.
Start on a high note?
Yeah. So my 3 crowns are for Paige Cronin for coming back so strong from her injury and having the fastest goal in club history and her first goal of the season.
Yeah, Kayla and I both agreed. If you set a club record, that guarantees you a crown. And in this case, it guarantees you the first crown.
Oh, absolutely. It was beautiful to watch. Second crown goes to Narumi Miura for her first Royal start, her club debut, and the first goal. For her first goal in her first game as a Royal.
Yeah, just perfect debut.
Beautiful debut. And then we gotta give the last crown to Mia Justice. Having a 3-0 clean sheet against Seattle is a great accomplishment.
And maintaining a club record.
Mm-hmm.
Getting us the 3-0 victory over Seattle in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So, third crown for Mia Justice.
All right. And for RSL?
So for RSL, we're doing the 3 crowns for the 3 matches cumulative. It's a beefy match week with a lot going on. In future multi-match weeks, we'll maybe divide it up a little bit. But for this one, we're just going to stick with the 3. So our third crown, we'll go third, second, first. Our third crown is going to be Justin Glad.
Mm-hmm. He had a solid performance in all 3 games.
And so many rescues.
Mm-hmm. There were a couple of spots where he was the one that saved the ball when Cabral wasn't able to get back again.
Yeah, so Justin, he deserves that crown. Good on you. Putting Messi in his place like that, that'll get you a crown.
Mm-hmm.
Second crown for the most comical goal of the season so far, Zavier Gozo. Bouncing the ball off of the post and off the back of the keeper and scoring in a Gretzky manner. For those who don't follow hockey or don't know, Wayne Gretzky was famous for scoring off of the defender's skates or off of bouncing it off the goalie. So to see Gozo get a Gretzky style goal, oh, that ticked so many things off of my bucket list there. And for consistent performance across all 3 matches, awesome time. And our first crown for RSL is going to be to the man who gave everything and
left it all on the pitch.
His selfless leadership is just something that is inspiring. Rafa Cabral, yet again, on our 3 crowns list.
I think he comes on at least once a week.
Well,
it's deserved every single time. It's 100% deserved. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Because he's so good.
Eventually, he will get his clean sheet, but I will say any goals that were scored this group of 3.
It was the 2 world-class goals, and then it was a free kick goal that was hard to see and a penalty kick.
Yeah.
Which is almost impossible to stop.
Yeah, so gave everything, deserves it. So, Cabral here's your crown, sir. We've got a doubleheader coming up. We've got RSL and Royals playing again this weekend. But before we get into that, we have
From the Stands.
Thank you, everyone who participated. Remember, you can always send us a DM with your comments. You can go to bootroom801.com and go to From the Stands. You can go on our Instagram story or just comment on a regular post. We go through all of it. We try to read everything that comes through. If we miss your question or your comment or your shout out or whatever, let us know and we'll make sure to get it in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
Starting us off today, we have someone else who wants to give a shout out to Justin Glad. And we have this one that says, Justin Glad is top 3 RSL players and he ain't number 3 or 2. High praise for Justin Glad. So
giving him the credit he deserves.
Getting a crown from us and a crown from the stands. We also have a question about, I assume this is about the LA Galaxy match. This is, why would Pablo rotate the team? Now, this is one that, it feels frustrating, but at the same time, we have to remember
that they're human.
These players are human. They get tired and they get fatigued. And when that happens, injury risk goes up.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest reason why you see teams rotate from one match to another, especially multi-match weeks, it's for that fitness. It's for injury prevention. We don't want to see more last-second injuries like PQ and Engel.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't want to see that. So it's better to rest some guys rather than try and force more time out of them, especially where we have the roster
depth to be able to do so.
That ties into another question that we had, and is, why is Pablo Ruiz not getting more minutes over someone like Griffin Dillon? He was one of our highest paid players last year, and now he's been dark all season. And they put their little caveat here. I'd love this question to be asked to Pablo during an interview too. Well, we have good news for you. earlier today, I had the opportunity to meet with Pablo post-training, and I asked him this question. I asked him about Pablo Ruiz and his recovery. If you want to see Pablo's full answer, it's on our YouTube and on our website, and will be going out on our social medias shortly after we record this. But Pablo talked about Pablo. But it really comes down to Pablo Ruiz and his confidence level on his injuries.
His double knees?
Mm-hmm. And Pablo Mastroeni brought up the fact that his injuries both could have been career-ending injuries.
Yeah.
So there's an element of subconscious fear. After blowing out an ACL. That's a scary thing, and it's something you have to be worried about happening again. So Pablo talks about it in detail, but it really comes down to it's Pablo Ruiz getting over that
mental
innate
block.
that innate block and that fear that comes from the injuries. And it's not saying that, oh, just be brave. It's like that is a primal, like deep-rooted psychological fear response that anybody would go through.
Take it from someone who has injured herself multiple times. Coming back from an injury when it's not your job is really hard to do. There are times, like, for those of you who don't know, I broke my elbow 2 years ago. And even now, like, there are times when I'm like going up the stairs and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to fall and I'm going to break my arm again, or something's going to happen again, or whatever. And it's terrifying. And it's just that primal, like Giles said, that primal instinct to protect yourself. And so being able to get over that is hard. But I'm glad that he's able to work with his physical therapists, with the performance team, with the mental health advocates that they have to be able to overcome that so that he can be strong. And he did play in the Galaxy game. So we are seeing him get minutes. We just also don't want him to push himself farther than he is able to do.
I would also like to address like the subtle, like maybe dig at Griffin Dillon. I don't know if that was intentional or not, or if that's just me reading into it too much. But Griffin Dillon is a fantastic player. And he's young. So he's going to continue to develop. And it's a lot like when we played, or when we saw Luka Moisa play, where he's young, but he has just an absolute phenomenal upside. And Griffin Dillon does too. Both of those players are MLS caliber midfielders who deserve a shot. And especially while Pablo is still working his confidence up, because that is going to be a process. So I hope that answers your question. Please go watch Pablo's response to it.
It's a good watch.
He answers that question a lot more in detail and with a lot better perspective as someone who is actively involved in that recovery and in the return to...
every single day.
Yeah, into the return to the minutes. We had a few more questions here. We've got one more about RSL and we got one about the Royals. So last RSL one is about Zavier Gozo and what he said on in an interview on MLS On Air with the Apple TV crew. And it's where he said that he wants to enjoy the next 2 months with RSL, but he wants to go to Europe in the summer window. So the question is Zavier Gozo leaving in the summer?
As of right now, we don't know.
We don't know, but if he wants to and an offer comes through,
and it makes sense for the club and it's good, why stop him?
We're not going to be able to hold on to him.
Yeah.
And when it comes down, like, it's his dream to go play over there, so who are we to stand in the way of his dream? Selfishly, I want him to stay at RSL and never leave. I love Zavier Gozo on the field and off. He is the kind of player that at press conferences and post-training, he says hello to everyone who is there, whether he is being interviewed or not. He makes sure to say hello. And there's a lot of players on the team that way. But we rarely see, like, post-match, somebody go into the media room and shake the hand of every single person in the room. And Gozo's done that. He's just a high caliber person. So it'll sting when he leaves. But also if he leaves and we don't get a double-digit million offer, that...
I saw a comment about that on the post on Instagram that said, if we can get enough money for him that it makes sense, and we see that they're actually going to play him and not just have him ride the bench, then absolutely we want to support him. But if not, let him ball out for RSL.
Yeah. And I mean,
that's what I saw.
There's some high profile teams that are rumored to be interested in him. We've, from unofficial sources, we've seen rumors of Aston Villa and Vallecano in Spain. I think we saw something about Real Betis somewhere. Obviously, all of these are completely speculative and non-substantiated. Like, we have not vetted these. That we have no access to.
Not even Tom Bogart has talked about them yet.
Yeah, and we have much less access than Tom Bogart does to the deals that are happening around MLS. But if we do lose Gozo, I have a hard time imagining, with the way that the front office has run the club so far, that we let him go for a deal that doesn't make sense.
We traded Andres Gomez for $10 million.
Like, I think it was like a total of $15 million after
to a
conditional bonuses.
Lower tier French club who hasn't played him.
I mean, he's not even with them anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of weird the way that one went. But I have a hard time seeing Gozo going off and into obscurity.
He's a bright and shining moment.
If he does leave RSL, I've said this about Luna, I say the same thing about Gozo. If he does leave RSL, I want him to go to Rome. Because then I can still watch him and root for him.
Regardless, we want what's best for his career.
Yeah, as much as that sucks. Anyway, so that's our thoughts on it. We obviously don't have any more information than y'all do, but we'll see how that plays out in the summer. We'll see what offers come in, and we'll see what happens after he's had the opportunity to talk to these clubs during the World Cup break. And talk to players who are coming in for the World Cup. So the right conversation at the right time can change the trajectory of it. So we'll see how that goes. But our last question from the stands for today that we have time for is about the Royals. And it says, for the Royals, was the Seattle win a statement result?
Yes, 100%.
Unequivocally.
Here's the thing. They are on an unbeaten streak. They tied in Washington. They won against Boston. They won at home against Chicago. And they won against Seattle. They have 4 unbeaten right now, which is really good start for the Royals. We had some growing pains when we first came back, when they first came back into the league. Definitely had some rough couple seasons. But we're finally in our stride. We have a lot of the women that are healthy again, coming off of the injury list. We have them playing at their form that they love and attacking and doing really well. And even Jimmy talked about that he was so excited for the next few matches.
It's really an exciting time. But speaking of the next few matches, because I don't think there's anything that I can add on to that. It's a statement result. It is. But speaking of the next few, Royals v Angel City. Royals at Angel City coming up on Saturday. Kayla, do you want to set us up for that one?
Yeah, so we're going to be facing Angel City on Saturday at 6:45 p.m. Once again, I'm going to find out where that's at. If all else fails, it's probably on NWSL Plus. I'm pretty sure that's where it's going to be, but we'll double check. So our head-to-head against Angel City, so we have 2 wins, 0 losses, 2 draws against them overall in club history. Now, we are above them in the table right now. We have had better form in the last little bit, and we're unbeaten.
Where do the Royals sit in the table right now?
We are 5th, and they are 7th.
Okay. Is that the highest we've been on the
in
table?
a long time. Yeah.
Okay.
So, like I said, this is the best start we've had in the new era. I'm not sure if it's the best start ever. I'll double check on that. But it's a good one to watch. It's at 6:45. I do know that the Throne like to do a watch party pretty often when there's an away game, so I will also look that up and share that with y'all so that if you want to go to the watch party, they are really fun, and you can go with other people who are supporting the Royals.
You can easily watch both games because of the start times for both matches, where our Royals at Angel City is at 6:45, but RSL v Portland has a 2:30 kickoff time, and
Which means that everyone has to cheer extra loud because I won't be there.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kayla's gonna be at work. Darn fancy jobs and stuff. So RSL starts at 2:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Royals at 6:45 Mountain Standard Time. So you'll have plenty of time to watch both matches. Go to the RSL match and a watch party for the Royals.
Mm-hmm.
This is like one of those perfect weekends where they line up
really
just
well.
right. But RSL's hosting Portland. It is the Star Wars match, so costumes are encouraged, as everyone is saying. We've seen some fun ones getting put up so far in preparation. I've seen yellow and red lightsabers getting put together.
I need a blue one.
In addition to the yellow and red cards that were being handed out in the north end. So some are doing yellow and red lightsabers.
I love it.
So currently, historically, RSL sits 15 wins, Portland 16 wins, and 12 draws between the two clubs. So
a pretty close match.
As close to even as we can be. If we get a win, that'll even the series across for both clubs. We are coming off of a 2-game losing streak, but we are returning home. So RSL has a chance to turn that around. And where better to do it than at America First Field.
They're also on a 2-game losing streak. Or a winless streak.
Yeah, they beat San Diego just like we did. They lost at Minnesota. They beat LAFC. Then they lost at Vancouver. And they drew against Galaxy. So the refs didn't play as hard for Galaxy that day. Sorry. Just a little bit bitter. We're going into that match with hopefully an unchanged availability list. If anything changes, hopefully it's people coming off of it and nobody going on it.
I would love to see Juan Jose Arias off of that list. I cannot wait for that day.
And he has looked good in training.
He's so close.
And he's so nice. And I really just want him to ball out. And like his loan ends in the summer.
So we want some games at least.
Like I want him to get a chance to show that he deserves to be here and to get himself like into that conversation. So we'll see how it all works out, but I hope that he just balls out hard. But now that we've kind of gone over both matches of what's going on with it, it's time to give out our predictions. Kayla, what are your predictions for RSL v Portland and Royals at Angel City?
I think for the Real Salt Lake Portland game, we're coming at home. We're angry. We've got an edge to us. I think 2-0. I'm going to give us our first shutout.
I hope so. I would love to see that. With how we currently are stacked up, I'm going to be, I think, a little more on the conservative side of things. I'm going to say 2-1. 2-1. I hope for 2-0, but I think 2-1.
And then for Royals, I'm going to say 3-1.
3-1?
We're in really good form right now.
I'm hoping that Angel City can serve as a stand-in for LA Galaxy, and the Royals can get some revenge. And I am hoping we saw a 3-0 win against Seattle Reign. I'm hoping for a 4-0 win against Angel City, but my more conservative actual prediction is going to be a 2-0 win.
I like it. I can see it being very possible.
Now, if they win 8-0, I'll be even more happy. But yeah, I think a 2-0. I think goalkeeper side, Royals are solid. Defense, they've shown that they're solid, so I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
But with that is everything that we have. Thank you for sticking with us with this big, beefy, multi-match episode. The craziness for now has died down. Messi and company have come and gone.
Mm-hmm.
Things are getting a little bit more back to normal. And hopefully we'll see some good matches between now and the World Cup break. And then hopefully RSL returns from the World Cup break also in good form. But I think that the system that's been put in place is a good system. It's going to lead to long-term success. I don't think that the early success this season is a fluke or just like a flash in the pan. I think it is indicative of long-term success.
Agreed.
So, frustrating 2 results with Miami and LA Galaxy, but I think at the end of the day...
But now we're out for blood.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, RSL is a powerful team, and we are going to see that going forward. I think Pablo has built an incredible system, and I highly doubt that the wheels fall off with how it's built.
Yeah.
It's not built around one player or one clique. It's built around a brotherhood of all of the players, and
on and off the bench.
Yeah, on and off the pitch.
That's what I meant.
And the Royals. What an exciting time for the Royals. It really is incredible. And
we've hit the special sauce.
Yeah. So if you haven't jumped in on the Royals, now is the time. Get in early. Get in while you can help build it. And we can build these awesome traditions. We see so many traditions with RSL. Like, now is the time to build those for the Royals.
You get to be the ones that help make that.
So, help build a legacy that your children's children will be able to be a part of. It'll be fun. That is everything we've got for tonight. Kayla, you want to take us out?
Yeah. Thanks for joining us in the Boot Room today. If you enjoyed the show, subscribe wherever you listen. Follow Boot Room 801 across social media and stay with us at bootroom801.com for independent RSL coverage, interviews, press conference videos, and more.
Good night, everyone.
Okay, bye!